insane, man. And it was actually by some kid named something Park, some Chinese kid. But
Asian guy, yeah, on America's Most Talent, wasn't he? Wasn't he on America's Most Talent?
America's Most Wanted. That's what it was.
I was gonna say America's Most Wanted. Like,
for killing it.
Hey, guess what? I'll tell everybody just so that you guys know we're live.
We've been live. We didn't do our vocal warm up, Chris.
How now, brown cow?
Now, Chris, did you pay attention to the thumbnail that I made?
Yes, of me burning my throat with my hot tea.
Yeah, I love those pictures.
I didn't get my hot tea this time because Adam didn't give me enough time to run and make tea.
Why don't you? If you text your wife really nicely, don't you think she'd make you some?
She would.
Yeah.
You could bring her in. We could say hello to her.
How about if I give my wife's phone number out on the air right now and then everybody text her and ask her politely to make me hot tea?
I'll send you $50 if we could do that.
Do it right now. Let's do it.
Oh.
I got 2 phones.
Oh, I should give him my daughter's son. No, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, no, not that. I mean, that's weird, but
yeah,
let's not make it weird now.
Is it weird that I like seriously enjoy having hot tea now? Like that's my evening. Every evening is
yeah, that is kind of weird.
You're American, bro.
Clive,
I see you've got the screen arranged here in order of beard length.
That's a good point.
Yeah, but you see who's in the middle. The man is in the middle, right? Right here. The manly beard, the baby beard coming in.
The David Beckham beard.
Hey, I just need some of David Beckham's money, and I'll be happy. You can call me David Beckham all day long.
Bend him like Beckham.
So does now Joe? Okay, I'm gonna say this in the stream right now. Joe had no idea what my screen name was that I put on here. Jeff Spicoli. He had no idea what that was.
No.
Okay. Now between everybody else and watching the stream, they don't know that we have this running joke that Joe doesn't know any American pop culture.
Barely.
Now, I bet you anything, everybody in the chat is going to know who Jeff Spicoli is.
I don't even know who he is, honestly.
Oh my God. Woo!
What the hell is wrong with you? You don't know who Jeff Spicoli is. Adam, did you know who Jeff Spicoli was?
I don't. I'm sorry.
You guys are all dead.
20%. That's quite a good result.
Hey, before we get too far into this, we have to officially introduce our awesome guest, Mr. Big Clive. Thanks for joining us tonight. We do appreciate it.
Thank you.
It's always such a pleasure to have you on, and I always learn so much that I forget it the next day because my brain is just so overloaded with the knowledge.
Yeah, you're absorbing far too much knowledge. You're going into too much detail.
It's over.
It's like my brain. You start talking, and my brain like forms a black hole, and it absorbs all this knowledge, but I don't know where it goes.
Yeah, it gets stored, and it will come back later on when you need it.
Like when I go into a coma and I wake up speaking only German, reciting everything that you ever taught me.
Absolutely.
There we go.
That sounds perverted for some reason.
Yeah. Well, it's German. Everything in Germany is perverted. Du hast, Rammstein.
I just thought of big wieners for some reason there. So yes, probably.
From Germany?
Yeah. Big German schnitzels and things like that.
The old wiener schnitzels.
Wiener schnitzels. Whenever I think of Germany, I just think of Rammstein, performing their greatest hits on stage, like all decked out in weird latex.
Well, I've got my this is my Rammstein accessory here, technically speaking. I can do at least one part of the Rammstein show. I can do the flames.
There we go.
Did you customize that there, Clive? I know you mentioned a few times, but
this it's a 3D printed object that I put the script up online, but it's not on Thingiverse. It's for making a little, what they call it, a whoosher.
Woofer, like you call it.
A woofer. But you're thinking the foamy woofler, which is different.
Okay.
So there is people watching the stream that do appreciate my pop culture trivia knowledge, and yes,
nobody cares.
Mr. Man was a dick. Okay.
Who got it? What happened?
I see
a bunch of people.
Them, yes.
So both of them. Shut up. There's more than two.
Does anyone remember where we left off with Clive? Because we were like running out of time. We had a longer show.
Oh yeah, the glass guy was asking some really cool questions. Why don't you go ahead and pipe him back in, and
we'll go to the phones.
Yeah. Is that your
like? Oh, I think Clive's signal's breaking up.
So, can I read the mystery manual here and see if people can guess what the product is and how to use it?
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
So I've got a manual here. This is the first instructions, right? And it has to do with heating and ventilation in a way. But it says, step 1, start the car. Drive the car inside the loop, wind speed 4, open the cold wind, the machine is electrified into the auxiliary car of the car, and turn on heat up button to the right. So see if you can work out what that machine does.
It's got to be a car.
Can I just predict where it was made? China?
And
it
then
is absolutely...
Yeah, and then I think it was made in China. I think it was translated into Hindu and then retranslated into Arabic and then retranslated into English.
Something.
I'll bet you it was a Google Translate.
It's had a bumpy translation ride, indeed.
Yes.
So
reverse engineered it. Hold on, I can show you the schematic of it inside. Hold on.
Yes.
That's the schematic of it inside. I just thought I'd show you that.
Now,
it's not going to help.
I see what looks to be a boat steering wheel.
A boat steering.
I think you could
That's the plan.
probably get a job in China fairly easily because I think that's what they specialize in, would be reverse engineering everything. They just do a very poor job at a lot of it.
Like translating stuff.
Some of the stuff is so well made, but absolutely terrible electronics. It's just they didn't have a clue.
I think I was watching a documentary that was talking about how they reverse engineer their own products and like they steal from each other and then reverse engineer, and like they're full of counterfeit of their own counterfeit crap.
Well, that's goofy.
Somebody guessed a car ozone generator.
Not a car ozone generator, but going in the right direction. It's definitely vehicle based.
Yeah, the Chipmunk 2008 guessed that. That's close.
Another feature here. You put it in the car, you run the flex out the door, and then you slam the door on the flex. So, that's just how it works, apparently.
I like that one invention where you take a garden hose and you tape it to your exhaust and you put that in your window. And then you just sit there and you check your Facebook for a little while just so you go to sleep.
The Corona cleaner?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that in too many movies where stressed out dads go sit in the garage and then find a magic hose that fits perfectly over the exhaust pipe and it's just nice and sealed. And then
you gotta put tape on it.
Just like to say, don't actually do that.
It's probably a good idea because you guys are all going to jail except me.
That's a bad idea. Yeah. If you do that, you're stupid.
Hey,
I hate you.
Whose name is this YouTube channel registered under? Because it's not mine.
Nope, not mine.
I think Joe did it.
Yep.
Not me. Not it.
Blame the Canadian, right? Just blame
Canada.
Clive has big shoulders.
So just blame me because I do most of the bad things. I've been showing how to cook sausage rolls and hot dogs by sticking electrified forks.
That was awesome, by the way.
I did watch that one, Clive, and then I watched you eat it, and I'm like, wow.
Did it taste like metal?
If I show this now, are people going to get it? Because this is a really common thing on eBay. I'm just going to have to...
well, we had actually someone guess. Someone said it's a fogger, not saying how I know, though.
Oh, right. Okay. Right. Okay. So
it's a one-man jetpack.
If someone's already guessed, then yes, it's a fogger. It's a sterilizing fogger that can be used for homes or office spaces or your car.
Okay, so spoiler alert, I already know this because I asked you this earlier, but what does it actually fog that you put in your car? What liquid does it use? And it fogs that liquid to sterilize.
The liquid it uses appears to be standard like disco fog fluid, but with a sterilizing agent in it. And they're a bit cryptic. They don't really want to reveal what's in it. But looking on, for some reason, Philippine websites, they were selling. they were selling it and just saying contains benzalkonium chloride, which is a what do they call it?
Sounds
there
toxic.
It is toxic. There is a word for it, and I've just forgotten what it is. That's the pressure of being on screen. It's a biocide. That's it.
I hope you don't feel any pressure about being on our screen, Clive, because when you're doing your live streams, you have like 16 million people, and
yeah. See, when I make my videos, I just forget words left, right, and center. And then as soon as I stop the video, I can remember them. It's just that's how it works. Yeah. But yeah, this stuff you get it in flavors. This is lemon flavor, but just so happens to look, smell, and slightly taste like orange, which is odd given that it's in a drinks bottle and it's probably quite toxic.
And I'm gonna ask you how you know what it tastes like, Clive.
I did taste it.
Okay.
I had to taste it. It's needed. It didn't contain Bitrex, which I was looking to see because that tastes horrible. If they put that in demineralized alcohol, and that tastes terrible. I've tasted methylated spirits.
My! Sounds
will
like.
Will I plug this in?
Sure.
Okay.
We can watch Clive pass out in the background.
Is there a way you can like hook it up to instead of the fogging? Can you add some sort of chemical to the fogging stuff that makes it flammable, and then create a big fog of flammable material?
Fill it with isopropyl alcohol and just stick a light in front of it. But strange enough, I'm not going to do that right now because doing it on a live stream just seems like a great idea, actually.
That would be a woofer. That's a woofer right there, man.
So is that like we all have to go watch your next live stream because you're going to try to light your room on fire?
I think you should do it outside.
I'll do it outdoors. That would be interesting. But the question is, how far would the flames flash back? I don't think they'd go beyond the nozzle of the unit, but I'm not really sure.
I would imagine the pressure that it's coming out has a lot to depend on it, right? I mean, if it's coming out at a really, really low pressure, wouldn't it have more tendency to flash back into it?
Well, it's down to oxygen content as well. It has to, if you spray an aerosol, I could demonstrate that right now. Hold on, I'll just try and put this.
Oh, we've all done that many times. I lighting the barbecue outside. Just take the the aerosol fluid and the barbecue fluid, and light it, and watch it come back.
If you get the lighter fuel, it won't go back into the can. This is famous last words, isn't it?
Dun, dun, dun.
Because,
man, that's a woofer, bud.
Because it won't go back into the can because it's only fuel in the can. It needs that correct ratio of air and fuel to actually light. But there are systems that generate hydrogen and oxygen gas for little micro Jeweller's brazing torches. And they put out a combustible gas that it can burn inside the tube, and it can flash back into the unit and blow them up.
Now, this kind of reminds me of this little science class that we're having right now of a house we were renovating. And the drywallers, there was no heat in the house at the time. The drywallers, we were outside, and the guy who was working with me, he's like, you better go inside and check out what's going on in there. Like, what's going on? Just go inside. There's lots of flames.
Can I guess?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because they might do the same thing in the UK as well. When they need hot water, they'll just bang a couple of nails into a piece of wood, connect it to the mains, and throw it into a bucket.
No.
I don't think it was.
What they did was they took about a 3-foot, half-inch black gas nipple, had a cap on it, and they cut slots into the nipple, and they had it plugged into the kitchen where the stove would be, and they just lit all the slots and let it flamed up to heat up the house a little bit.
Is it as exciting as mine or not?
I mean,
yours sounds more exciting.
Yeah, I was a little excited because it was my house.
Okay.
So, but yeah, I think I like your flames better though.
So,
on that note,
so this thing's now up to temperature. So I'm just going to go back here.
Speaking of temperature, Clive, you should do that hot dog experiment again. Which I don't know how many hot dog experiments you've done, but the one with the forks anyway, and do that with a meat probe.
No.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah, something to see like what the internal temperature gets up to.
Can we do it like a turkey or a chicken?
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
It doesn't cook the turkey or chicken. That's a snag. It burns clear at the electrodes. It's only suitable for heating things like hot dogs that are pre-cooked.
What if you had like big old jumper cables on the turkey?
And an overhead line? Yeah, it'd be cooked really quick. Yeah.
A prisoner action movie where he's being tortured in the freaking prison and he's got the jumper cables on him. Cue every Rambo movie or whatever with sponges.
You got to glue pretend nipples onto the turkey though to make it more fun.
Yeah.
So are you ready? This is up to temperature now.
Let's do it.
I'd like to point out I've not got sterilizing liquid in it. I've just got standard fog fluid, but there we go.
Wow, that's not a lot.
That's a lot of pressure coming out of that, man.
Yeah.
I
thought they were I thought it was like low pressure or something.
That doesn't seem very healthy.
I really think he has in that.
That doesn't seem very healthy.
It's like bio death.
You just hotboxed your room.
Technically speaking, all I'm breathing in at the moment is actually because of what I made this. I made it up with the liquid. It's just e-liquid that's in it, but not with nicotine or anything like that.
I was just gonna say. I was just gonna see if you can hook it up to like a vape pen and
you could
just
use
hotbox yourself.
nicotine liquid and just like gas everybody with it, and everybody would be getting a hit off nicotine.
Don't they make the same kind of stuff for
interesting.
marijuana?
Yeah.
Do
I
that.
think that's with like a leaf blower though.
That's oil for those.
Okay,
Yeah.
so a person, I'm not going to name who this person, but it's a relative of mine, was working for a vape pen company, right? When vape pens were first coming out and they were still illegal. And this was a low budget company and they were making their own vapes. And she was telling me how they made them, and they literally made them in bathtubs and were like mixing the different vape, and then they were selling them at the store. And it's like, what the hell? And then you realize, but that was back when vapes were not legal, but they were making them with pot and all kinds of other crap and stuff like that too. But it's
All
kind of
sorts
scary
of
to think
goodies.
that stuff's just made in a bathtub, like
It's
not regulated.
No.
E-liquid is two standard available chemicals. It's propylene glycol and glycerin, or
Yeah.
glycerol.
Glycerin. That doesn't sound very healthy.
Well, you eat it.
Yeah, you eat it with
It's
gummy bears, don't you?
gummy bears ice cream, I think.
Oh yeah, I don't eat gummy bears. Although not because they have glycerin, but just because they taste funky.
What is
So if
wrong
you-
with you, Bill? The little pineapple gummy bears? Those are amazing.
Pineapple.
Swedish fish.
Oh.
If
Those
you're gonna
are
get the gummy products, man, you got to do Swedish
are
fish.
nasty. I do
Oh, I
not.
love them. I love how they stick to my teeth for like 7 days.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I'm Swedish.
I've not tried Swedish fish.
No,
You gotta try 'em.
oh man, you got to try them, Clive. I don't know if do they even sell them on the Isle of Man?
I've never heard of them over here, but it's probably just a standard candy. We have a thing called floral gums and midget gems, which are just it's floral gums and cherry lips, and these little sweets are just like
We have
as soon
those.
as you put them in the mouth, your teeth stick together. You physically can't part your teeth; they're so
Oh.
gummy.
And that's like a special treat. That sounds horrible.
Yeah, it's pretty grim. It removes all your fillings.
Oh wow.
Moves the fillings.
I think
Is
I'm
it-
supposed to
I
have my
assume it's
fillings
not
removed.
recommended by 4 out of 5 dentists.
Oh, the dentists recommend them, yeah, because then they get to put the fillings back in again.
Oh, good point.
I think I have a couple fillings that are metal, and I don't think you're supposed to have those. I think you're supposed to get them removed and put the composite or whatever the crap they have nowadays, right?
The thing is, they still do mercury fillings because there's, you get the resin fillings that are cured by the little light gun. That's not perfect for all situations. Any cavities, I was talking to my dentist about this, any cavities on this gum line where there's moisture, that stops the resin sticking. So what they do there, they still use the mercury amalgam because it just displaces the moisture and then it sets. So, there's still places the mercury is still used.
Interesting.
Sounds
can-
healthy.
Dental
you're
death.
Thrilled.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds
Death by-
very healthy.
Death by filling.
So
Something. Yeah, go ahead.
no, you go ahead, Joe.
No, you
No, you go ahead.
Oh, you go ahead, Joe.
No, I was just saying. Last episode.
No,
some people-
I was gonna go.
Oh, you go. Go ahead. Chris.
No. But no, you pissed me off. No, you go.
Bill, you go.
No, I'm not gonna say shit.
Who, me?
I was- we did it again to Clive. He was saying we should give him a little heads up on what we want to talk about, electrical questions anyways. We didn't do it again. Poor guy,
Yeah.
But people were asking, I heard somebody say transformers, something, I don't know, relates to the field, like something I'm even curious about, maybe starting relays, how I don't know if he has any experience with it, but I always found them pretty interesting.
You mean
I
like potential relays or current relays?
Yeah.
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 Those were always intriguing to learn a little bit more about. And there's still kind of voodoo magic.
It is. Like when you think about it, something how power could go back the opposite way and turn off something. It's pretty cool. How the
Like back
the
EMF.
source- Yeah,
Yeah.
back EMF, yeah.
I have to confess here, okay, so the start ones with the coils in them that rely on the inductance at the initial high current.
Yeah.
But see the potential relays, I've never really actually looked into them too much. It's one of these things that you just hook it up and it works, but I've never actually really gone into it in too much detail.
Well,
I
and,
should.
and yeah, no, that's the kind of the same thing. I mean, we've worked with them our entire career, and and there's just like, I mean, is it really worth the headache to sit down and try to figure out so much stuff when half the time,
Yes.
not
Sometimes
working.
it's nice to know how it works.
You're right.
It is.
You're right.
It
But
really is.
That it kind of reminds me back to our last conversation where we were talking about triacs.
Yeah, that was a little.
Yeah, triacs. And then I wanted Clive to explain to me exactly how electricity works down to the molecular level.
Oh, that's right. And that's the one.
Yes.
That's the one where Clive said he was never going to be on the show again.
Yep. And then he's like, "You,
I said, just change the fucking triac.
yeah,
You're not gonna, oh, hold on. I'll just open the triac and stick another electron in.
wait, let's do that. Can you do that?
No.
No, you can't do that.
You can make all the electrons come out with a loud bang, though, because I've done that a few times.
That's a good question there, rookie. We should somehow measure that. Whose is longer, Bill's or Clive?
What's longer?
It looks like Bill's is longer.
I think Bill's is much longer. Mine's at terminal length. We can measure it in nipple height because mine comes down to basically nipple height.
Mine's a little bit lower than that. Maybe about an inch lower.
Well, it depends on how high your nipples are, you know.
Yeah, if we're being fair, I got low nipples.
This is going into a weird place.
Yeah, let me go back.
You can thank Joe. Joe brought this subject up.
Can we
Rookie
just sum it up?
Joe. It was Joe.
Big Clive's beard is nipple length, and Bill's is slightly longer than nipple length. So that's the answer there.
Well, let's finish on this note. My nipples are prettier than both yours. Al Anonymous.
Yes. Joe, way to finish that one up.
Potential relays, yes, they are normally closed. I believe current relays, aren't they normally open, actually? They're opposite,
Yeah,
right?
they're normally open. And then the high inrush amps is what closes them.
That's right. It's still interesting though how the back EMF works. It's just so hard to explain how it works. I don't know. It's just weird to me. That's all.
Maybe I should take some of these apart in the channel.
Yeah.
Because I've already done like the wee PTC thermistor starting unit, which was basically just a thermal resistor that passes a lot of current initially, but then as it heats up, it cuts off, and that's used just to start the motors.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've seen those in. I think Manitowoc uses those for their start relay as a PTC.
Really?
Yeah, positive temperature coefficient relay.
Coefficient. Yes. Yeah.
Very simple, but it does have a certain recovery time. You can't just turn it off and on. Not that you can actually do that at compression.
Yeah,
Yes.
In most of the residential refrigerators, or anyway, the ones that I used to work on, used to have a ceramic disc, the PTC relay in there instead of like an actual mechanical relay. And I remember when I was learning about them, you go up to a compressor and you pull off the cover of the compressor and you pull out the start components and you just rattle it. If you hear that rattle, that's how you knew your ceramic disc was snapped.
Mm-hmm.
Then you sell it in your fridge.
That's reasonable enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are pretty cool.
That's new to me. I know they do fail. They sometimes burn up a bit when they fail, usually just because they're wedged in between two metal contacts. But I've never come across them snapping, but I suppose that's reasonable enough.
Clive, I'm going to change the subject real quick just because I just love doing that and having questions in my head right now. So how is the whole virus affecting you guys right now? I don't know if I asked you that on the last one. I mean, are you guys quarantined? Are you guys locked down?
We're on an island, and they actually kicked in really early. As soon as it arrived on the island, they just did a complete lockdown. Yeah. So it literally just disappeared. So we've been virus-free for 2 months.
Okay.
But all the borders are closed. They're letting goods in, but they're not letting us fly out. The only flights that are running are between the Isle of Man and Guernsey, because Guernsey is also virus-free.
Guernsey sounds like a disease.
It is a disease, yes.
So I heard the similar thing. We have one of the United States, Hawaii, is an island, and they had basically no cases, and now they're slowly creeping up as they're starting to let people in. Now they still have, like, if you want to fly in, if I understand correctly, you have to quarantine for 14 days in your hotel room before you can leave. But they've been catching people, like they've been letting people fly in, and they've been catching them that aren't staying in their hotel room. They've been searching them out.
Yeah. That's inevitable. Here, if I was to somehow go back to the UK and come back to the Isle of Man again, then I'd have to quarantine for 14 days. But they just let people, they say you have to stay in your house, but their families who are in contact with them are still running everyday life. So they're going to spread, they're going to catch it and then spread it before they even show.
So, okay, that reminded me of something. I went on when I was a kid, I was a teenager. I went on a cruise and where we went to a couple different places, and I got that nasty ass virus that everybody gets on the cruise ships, the norovirus.
Gonorrhea?
Was that a singles cruise?
No, but I got the norovirus, where basically you're shitting and throwing up every 2 seconds.
It only lasts
Cougar cruise.
really memorable.
It's not something you ever want, because you basically, your butthole hurts so bad. But
Hey,
regardless, the reason why I'm bringing that up was they quarantined me to my room. They basically told me, they said, look, you have a choice. We will lock you up in the infirmary, or you can go to your room and you can stay in your room, and we'll bring your dinners to your room. But at the time, my girlfriend, which is my wife now, they still let her come and go from the room. And it's like, what the fuck? I don't understand that. Like, why am I quarantined? But yeah, my girlfriend can come and go from the room. And it's like, she's going to get this shit and take it, you know?
it was a swingers
Spread around the
cruise.
ship.
Yeah. She had to get her.
So this is how it's going to be tonight, eh? Chris is going to throw off topic in general. I'm gonna
So
throw it
Chris,
back to you.
you brought up something. You brought up something on Monday. I've heard you say it a couple times, but there was people in your chat. I don't know if you want me to bring this up or not.
Go ahead. I don't know what you're going at, but I'll scream at you.
There's a few guys in your chat that were saying they think you were giving out incorrect information. I'd like to ask Clive his opinion on this.
Oh, what was the information about? I give incorrect information all the time. So
That's not true.
Hashtag small picture diagnosis. No, this is what you were talking about. You were talking about the contactors with the pass-through voltage. Warming.
The shunt trip
Shunt,
right.
Yeah.
So
and how they act as a crankcase heater.
yeah, I don't know, Clive, if you're familiar with this. So like usually you would have a double pole contactor, not all the time, where you would open or close, allow 220 volts through. Sometimes they have only one that opens and closes, and there's a shunt that allows voltage through all the time. It doesn't do anything because you don't have the full voltage there. Chris was saying that it will actually work as a crankcase heater internal to the compressor, keeping the oil warm, having only one leg. And there was a couple guys arguing with Chris in his chat.
No,
that's true. Train does that.
I've seen it.
Well, what does it do? That's my question. It doesn't actually do.
Let me preface this. I honestly, it has been explained to me, but I do not understand how it works. Yeah. But that is what's been told to me a million times, and I've read in manufacturer's information that it actually is a crankcase heater. Now, how it works, I don't know, but it's not like it heats it up like a normal belly band heater that literally heats up the oil, but it just allows electrons somehow. And I don't understand it.
Can I chime in? Just give my 2 cents. It might be wrong too, but so in one of my videos, I think it was the compressors murdered video or whatever, where it's like a trilogy. Anyway, in that video is where I seen it. It's just like a 2-pole shunt contactor, and I was like, why do they have this on here? And at first I thought somebody put the wrong contactor on there, but then you look in the schematic and it is the correct contactor. So after posting that video with my questions on there, a bunch of people got back to me, and from what I surmised from all the responses is that one leg just goes through, and it's just enough voltage to heat up the coils in the compressor motor. And it's just enough to keep.
But wouldn't you need electricity to be flowing to actually produce heat?
I'm convinced about that, because if you were just if you applied one phase to the motor, it would have to have a return path. It would have to have a neutral
and that makes sense that you would think that it would. I don't understand why it's been told to me that it does.
It does have a return path through the windings of the compressor motor. All the windings are connected.
It has to. How many connections does the motor have?
Well, it has 3.
No, it has 2 essentially.
Yeah,
it has 2, but there's 3 terminals. There's actually two legs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so are we talking? Is the center tab of the common to both coils actually connected to neutral?
See if I can find this.
Or your return? Because what they used to do in the old days with elevators was for 3-phase motors, they would just have a 2-pole contactor. And they also changed direction with another 2-pole contactor that did the changeover. But there was always one phase present at the motor. But there's nowhere for the current to go because it's not like there's a neutral or a return path. It was just purely economy because they just didn't need that. It just cut down one contact needed on the contactor. But ultimately, no current flows. But I wonder if that's the same thing.
There's a few guys saying it.
Keep talking, and I'll look.
There's a few guys in chat that are agreeing as well. Rich and Rick and I think John. saying it does do it like a little trickle charge, and like Bill was saying, it goes through the windings and generates.
Oh, I'd have to see this in a schematic.
There's a configuration.
But what do you guys see in a schematic? It's weird. If I would see, when I see this on a schematic, I was like, well, I don't know what kind of schematic you're looking at, but the ones we see, it doesn't,
I can't remember the part number, or not the part number, the model number of that unit that I was looking at.
Actually, John McMaster was the one who was calling you out, not to throw him under the bus or anything, but
that John McMaster, he's a troublemaker.
Johnny boy.
You know what? I think I remember more of this though, because I think I vaguely remember reading in the comments. I think it was because I said it was on a 3-phase unit. And I think on a 3-phase unit, they were saying it was, I don't know if this to be true, but they were saying there was something different about a single phase than a 3-phase with that shunt trip. So, but I don't know why, because what we were talking about, you're reminding me now, it was because on the carrier package units, they're 3-phase units, but they only use 2-pole contactors. And someone was asking me, why do they have one leg going to the compressor or the motor all the time? And I was saying 2 reasons: because of cost efficiency, they're trying to be cheap, but then also they use it as a semi-quasi crankcase heater. And then someone in the chat was saying, no, on the 3-phase units, it doesn't work that way. Now, I don't understand it. That's all I've always been told. So
if it's purely 3-phase without a neutral, then that is just a cost-saving measure, because they just leave a phase connected to the motor.
Yeah.
But there's nowhere for the current to go until those other contacts close.
So you wouldn't be able to do that on 3-phase? Is that what you're saying?
So now on 3-phase, it is just 2 contacts. If there was just a 2-pole motor, you could actually just switch one, but that's pretty normal, isn't it? Just ultimate. Keep in mind, our electrical systems are different here. We have like 240 volts and neutral. You have 120 volts either side of a neutral.
Okay. So something that I'm reading, and this may be why I'm confused. I'm quickly reading an article. This one is saying that the crankcase heater is actually wired. It actually has a crankcase heater, this single phase compressor. And using the current, it's actually heating up the heater all the time. Well, whenever, that's what this is saying.
Right.
But
I can tell you, on the unit I was looking at, that is definitely not the case. There was no crankcase heater. There wasn't one of those little stubby heaters mounted in the body of the compressor.
Yeah.
Really?
I'm gonna find that God blessed unit.
I really doubt they would use one winding of the motor just powered all the time to heat it, because that sounds like it wouldn't spin the motor. It would just be there'd be no back EMF as such. It would basically be a stalled motor, and a lot of current would go through that winding and it could damage it.
That's an interesting one. My mind is hurting from that, so I'm gonna have to do some research.
We were also we had an interesting topic as well about, Chris. Remember you were talking about testing a 3-phase unit, and one of the legs to ground shows 0 volts.
Oh, that was my corner grounded Delta system.
The Delta, yeah.
That is a very interesting one, Clive. I don't know if you guys have anything like this.
We don't. The American electrical system is completely different from the British one.
Yeah, the corner grounded Delta. The first time I found it, I came across, I was working on a shopping mall, and I had a condensing unit on a walk-in freezer not working, and it was 3-phase. And I checked voltage, but then I checked to ground. And when I checked the ground, I about shit my pants when I was like, wait, I had 3-phase voltage, but then one leg I didn't. It was so confusing to me.
It would be confusing. I think that confuses a lot of people, because it is an odd system, but it's not very common.
No, it's not very common. And then I called an electrician buddy, and he was an older guy, and he's like, oh yeah. And he's telling me about it. And then I did some research, and I found out it is out there. It's just on very old systems. And
even the power workers, the linemen, have a problem with that. They often trip up when they come across that, because it's so rare that when they've discovered something like that, they think it's faulty.
Yeah, it was very, very interesting to see that one. You have to see stuff like that. Okay, and that's a great point too. When we're out there in the field, I'm not an expert. I don't know everything, nor does everybody else. Everybody is learning every day, and you run across new things. But that's why. And again, I make mistakes all the time, but that's why we need to fall back on our fundamentals. When we check voltage, okay, we check to make sure something's off. You check all 3 legs, and I make that mistake, or a lot of people call me out in my videos. I'll check power, and they say, I didn't see you check all 3 legs to ground to make sure you didn't have, one of the legs of the disconnect gets stuck. I mean,
I've had that.
I have
had that when I was working with Hussman. I turned off a panel, and the neon indicators in the front of the panel went dim, but they didn't go out completely. And I thought, oh, that's a bit odd. And I checked, and one phase was still being applied through the isolator. It was faulty.
And I've seen it too, where it's because people have wired the disconnect hot. Like one, the middle fuse was burnt or something, and so someone just went and wired one leg hot or something. I mean, but so much stuff happens that we have to be able to fall back on our fundamentals and always double check ourselves. And
you have to assume everything's live now. A recent video I saw was it MI Heating Guy or something like that?
Yeah.
He got a zap off something. I think it was off a capacitor, but he wasn't checking. When he turned things off, he just assumed it isolated. And I've come across situations that even the knife switches where the knives come out, one's broken off and it's left jammed in some way, or it's split from the rotator.
Yeah.
So these isolators can fail. But in his case, the reason he got a zap was because he was leaning against the metalwork while he was feeling about. And it's possible that the capacitor didn't have a discharge resistor. And also because the motor it was associated with, if it was a run capacitor, because the motor was actually faulty, it had gone open circuit, that capacitor held a charge and gave him a zap off that.
Yeah.
You have to really, one of the things I really stress a lot is don't hold on to metalwork while you're, faffing around inside things. That's just you're providing a return path to current. I recently put up a live stream where at the end of the live stream, what was it? It's got a picture of circuit board. Can't remember what it's called. But at the end of the live stream, I did actually hold a live wire in series the meter to show how much current flowed. And because there's no path to ground, virtually no current. It was like microamps was flowing because although my body was live at 240 volts with respect to ground, I wasn't touching anything grounded. And therefore there was nowhere for the current flow.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
So just making sure that, silly things like even non-rubber gloves, just ordinary work gloves can provide, as long as they're not wet, they can provide a layer of insulation. But it's important when you're working in panels just to make sure you're aware and not lean against metalwork or hold metalwork while you're poking about.
And I'd say especially putting yourself in a position where when your body convulses because you do get shocked or something, that you don't wrap yourself around things.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think we talked about that last time. I think I've heard some horror stories about electricians working in the attic, leaning over plumbing lines, with his hands over there. And then when he got electrocuted, he clinched and, he couldn't fall off of the pipe.
There's a video on YouTube of a guy, and to be honest, I don't know if he survives. He's a refrigeration engineer, but it's in a country which is presumably very hot because he's barefoot. And he actually climbs in the unit with his bare feet, which is all stainless steel, and he's feeling behind the trim. You've probably seen that. And then he locks on. And it's like, because his bare feet are making contact, and then after a while he just falls off. And it's like, you're looking at the video thinking, well, do something. And everybody's going, oh, what do we do about it? And it's like, oh.
Hey, real quick.
Good.
Breaking news. So I was off in the background rechecking that video. I was talking about the train package unit.
Yeah.
And slight correction to what I said. So in this particular package unit, there is no actual shunt. There's no 2-pole shunt contactor. Like I said, it's a regular 3-pole. It's a 3-phase unit. But the confusing part to me in that video, which is compressor murder part 2 at about 14 minutes into the video, the confusing part for me was the way that compressor was wired, because it's a 3-phase and I have one leg going to the compressor. Like the contactor doesn't break one leg of the compressor. So 2 legs are broken. 1 leg is wired hot to the compressor at all times, and that is what people we were talking about. That's what I was talking about.
That would turn. Was there an auxiliary contact then? If we're talking about heating, was there something else providing power from that same contactor to?
Nope. There's no. It's just a single contactor. There's no auxiliary switch or anything like that. But I remember from the comments, because I was confused by it, and I did also show the schematic in the video too. But I do remember the conversation went to the way of such that 1 leg of power keeps the windings warm as sort of a crankcase heater, as a poor man's crankcase heater.
I've never come across that.
It's a real poor man's crankcase heater, eh?
There's some things like that and maybe I'm just being lazy, but there's some stuff that I just really, it works and I really don't sweat it. Like I just, I don't know. There's things that I really invest heavy into and like, oh yeah, I understand that and I understand this. But then there's things like the whole crankcase heater thing. Like, it's just, I heard that's what it is, but you know, it really doesn't.
Hey, Chris, just so you know, like 2 minutes ago, I recorded everything you said. So you have a new intro or outro or whatever for your stream.
Oh yeah. What did I say?
You said, just so you guys know, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not a teacher.
Oh,
no clue.
That is so bitchy.
I know, right?
I'm just kidding. I didn't record it, but YouTube did. YouTube did.
You are recording.
Talking about weird wiring, I've got a video coming up on my channel which shows this. It's a Honeywell control wiring module. And basically speaking, it used to be that in the past for British heating systems, they were done economically. I don't know if it works the same way in America, but the heating systems used a three-way valve, a 3-port valve that could divert water in 2 ways, but it used really weird stuff. It's like one of these things that you look at it and think, how the fuck is that working? Because it's so complex. It's a little synchronous motor, so it can only go in one direction in that instance. And it's just a single motor. You can't stop it. There's no brakes. But what it's doing inside is it can go to one of 3 positions. It can go closed on one side. It can go in a middle position, letting water out the 2 ways, or it can go full the other way. But when Honeywell designed the system for economy, they went as simple as possible. So what it does is it's spring loaded, so the motor will always return to a closed position, which is the heating radiators. If it's if it's energized all the time, it will go fully to the other end. Then it will just stall, and that's what holds it in position. It's just physically stalled, but still powered. But it's a low power motor. But the other position, if it goes in the middle, what it does is it's an AC motor, but then it puts a diode and resistors in series with it. So it locks it with DC sort of magnetic braking in that mid position. And it's such a mind melter to make it work like that, to cut the corners, make it cheap. They came up with a really weird system that, you know, if the hot water's being called, there's a changeover contact that either runs the boiler or sends a signal to this unit to actually sort of use logic where the motor's going to go. And to make it easy, they came up with a circuit board, and it's just a single-sided circuit board with the contacts around it. And literally, you don't need to know anything. You stick the mains into it. You've got a fuse here, and you just put white wire into the one marked white, orange wire into the one marked orange, and likewise all the way around. And it's a really simple marshalling system that just makes that really complex wiring system easy. But the downside is that people still haven't a clue how it works.
Is that strictly low voltage, that control?
No, it's 240.
Oh.
You know what always bothers me, which I'm sure, Clive, you're not familiar with, but Joe, you probably are. It sounds like it's the same type of motor because it just keeps spinning around forever. Those freaking monster White Rogers zone valves. You know what I'm talking about, Joe? I hate those things where there's like 6 terminals on them. Every time I work on them, I got to pull up a wiring diagram and figure out how they work again because it just doesn't make, you know. And a lot of the terminals are like, this terminal is the same as that terminal. I don't know. It's ridiculous. I hate those freaking zone valves. Those big monster freaking things. And if you have to replace it, you have to pull, you got to drain the water out. You got to pull the whole.
Yes.
They're awful.
Yes, I think, yeah, I gotcha.
So someone's mentioning, by the way, part winding motors. Now,
yes.
When I was working with Hussmann, I spent a lot of time building panels as well in the factory. It was like jack of all trades with Hussmann. I was like partly out installing stuff and installing the packs and wiring the supermarket refrigeration systems. But we also built all the compressor packs in the factory and built the control panels. And someone's mentioning part winding compressors. And I have to say, I was used to Star Delta for starting of compressors, but I think these are just winding with a tap. That initially it starts off with a tap in the windings so the compressor runs at higher current, but then it cuts to the outer tap, which runs at lower current. But I can't actually answer that because it's the only time I ever came across motor control like that. And in those instances, I wasn't building the panels for those units. So I honestly don't know about the part winding start. I remember crapping myself when I was wiring them because I was thinking, am I getting the right windings here? Am I, connecting to the right terminals, because the last thing I wanted was the start winding was the main run winding, and then swap it over, so you end up overheating the compressor windings, which is kind of expensive with big huge packs.
Oh yeah,
because those were big compressors.
Yeah.
I have a question for you as far as I don't know, I always mispronounce this word. All right, so you guys correct me. Is it rheostat or a rheostat? A or R? Rio. A.
What?
I love that
Rheostat.
Movie.
It's basically a freaking dimmer for a motor, right?
Yeah, but it's usually a resistor, a rheostat.
Okay, so
it's basically a variable resistor.
So if you have a rheostat and you are using like a regular PSC motor, and your rheostat will get fairly hot. It produces a lot of heat, right?
Uh-huh.
So then if you have an ECM motor, how does that work? And how do you have any idea how that works? Is it control the low voltage side of an ECM motor, or it's
I'm not sure.
I
wonder if this is associated with you get quite complex motor systems where one winding creates like the sort of like the magnetic field, and by it doesn't take much current in that wind to create the sort of like the
it's weird because I don't think you have nearly the same amount of heat in an ECM motor versus a regular AC motor, right?
I'm not sure can answer that, actually. Motors are not my strong point.
This is what you got to tell me now. You got to say, email me and we'll talk later.
It's just
who says that?
There's also a huge terminology difference between America and Britain.
Yes.
I'm going to redeem myself right now because I know that I've heard this crankcase heater thing. So I just read an article and it makes more sense now. So, and I'm not reading the whole thing, but really quickly, it is a crankcase heater, and it has it has everything to do with the dual run cap. So the dual run cap, what's happening is the power's running through the dual run cap. And it's, again, I quickly read this right now, and it's saying that you can do this on single phase and 3-phase systems. And the way that they have one of the legs wired all the time, it's something to do with passing through the dual run cap.
So that would, in that instance, if it was a dual run cap, it would be passing current through one of the windings all the time. So even if it was stationary, it would be causing current to flow in those windings.
Yeah, and it's acting as a crankcase heater. I'm reading an article because I know I've heard this a bunch of times, and I heard that's why Carrier did it. Mm-hmm. And that's what this is saying. And then they're showing a schematic right now, and basically, you're passing power all the way through the system, all the way. Yeah.
When you first said that, Chris, I thought to myself, I'm like, that's fascinating. Chris is really smart. And then like the second time I saw it in your stream, there was a couple guys like, no, that's not true. That's not true. I'm like, good thing I didn't repeat that.
Here's what I want to do. I want to do a screen share right now because this schematic's going to make it all make sense. So I'm going to do a screen share right now.
Uh-oh.
Hold on. Let me make sure I don't share the wrong screen like I did last time.
The porn one.
Yeah. Your hentai porn.
Okay, so Adam, approve that screen share.
Bazing.
And if you look at the schematic right there.
Hey, what's in that other tab?
The schematic to Clive is like nothing. It's like, what the hell is nothing?
Yeah. No, but you're passing voltage all the way through. So it's running through the start winding of the compressor, going through the run cap, going all the way back to line 2. So you are passing voltage through the compressor at all times in that arrangement, which
yes, you are.
A lot of us pull out and rewire the dual run caps. And I wonder if we mess up that when we pull out that dual run cap and put in single caps and different things, or rewire units without knowing like, oh, that doesn't need to be there. I can do the same thing by moving this over here.
In that case, here won't be active, I guess, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can stop the screen, or I can stop the screen share here.
The worst wiring screw-ups I've come across have always been when they've got some really weird, complex system, and the person that made a modification didn't understand it, and because they couldn't get their head around it, and it's so easy done. It's so easy done because
Yeah, it's I'm sorry, not to interrupt real quick, but there's been so many times when I can't figure something out and it's easier just to unwire it and wire it the way that I want it to run.
Exactly.
Oh no.
I've done that so many times.
Yeah.
Rip everything out and start over. I'll make this work. And
That doesn't.
That's what
OMG.
that's what
No,
Joe
I've
keeps
done that
telling
so
me.
many
That big Tech Mart job, Joe keeps telling me every time I'm over there. I talk to him like, "Wait till you hear what I ran into today." He's like, "Dude, just cut out all those wires and start over again."
I tell him all the time, but
yourself.
he calls me. He's like, Joe, what do you think of this? What should I do with this control and this control? I'm like, Adam, oh my God, you're driving me nuts just hearing this. But
It is crazy though. I think I posted pictures of it. Have I posted pictures of it?
Can I make it?
And I'm sorry, I'm gonna talk about the run cap thing again. And again, guys, I'm not 100% sure that this is how this works, but I've just always been told that. And
I just recorded that too. Thank you.
No, and John was saying that the configuration, I think he was saying the configuration I was talking about was the 3-phase system, and it would be the same on the 3-phase so long as one of the condenser fan motor legs, because the condenser fan motors on my 3-phase systems are single phase. So long as the condenser fan motor is wired correctly, then it would be running through that run cap and still energizing one leg of that compressor too, as long as the hot leg was going through that, I think. But I could be completely wrong. So, but that's just as I've always been told is that's why they do the 2-pole contactors on the 3-phase.
Clive's like, hell no.
No. Can I make a confession here? Because ages back, I was wiring a restaurant, and they said, "Oh, there's going to be an overdoor heater." You know those overdoor heaters that are just the air curtain heaters.
Yeah.
So I ran a cable, and they said the control system. So I got a multi-core cable, and just thought, "Oh, it's not going to be that complex. I'll allow like 9 cores just in case." And this thing arrived from Italy, and it was something like it was rated something like 50 kilowatts, and it was like, what? And like, so I had to run a new power cable out to it, but then all these cables are coming down. And it was this massive cables for control. And I'm thinking, well, it's all sealed into the wall now. And I thought, but I tell you what, I'll just rewire it a little bit, right? Because it doesn't need all those wires. And I vividly remember turning it on and the fan motor not running, but the heater's all coming on and the whole thing glowing orange. And it was like, oh, let's not do that then.
Did it blow up?
You know what?
So logical. It's like,
again, I'm going to step on my own tongue. I can't get off this crankcase heater thing. This wouldn't work on 3-phase. This wouldn't work on 3-phase because you're not running. No, I don't think it would work on 3-phase.
You wouldn't have capacitors on a 3-phase either.
But you're going to have a capacitor in the system
On a 3-phase, maybe for
on your condenser fan motors. But is that
on your fan motors?
Is that power going to pass through? I don't think it'll pass through the compressor though. So I think it would only work on single phase.
Send a schematic to Clive.
Yeah.
Do you have schematic of that unit, Chris?
Look at the schematic. Email me the schematic.
I would have to look at it. I don't think it'll work on 3-phase. So no, the more I'm thinking about it, I really don't. Yeah, whatever. All right, let's move on.
I have to say that some of the most amazing and the most interesting shitty Chinese products I've had in my channel have been ones where they've cut corners and they've made one component do several things. So you open up and think, how is it doing all that?
Yeah.
And you have to reverse engineer it, and it's a complete. You could get a good quality product with I say good quality, it's not necessarily. You could get a traditional product and you go, oh yeah, that's doing that. Say for instance, this one, the thermal switches are doing that, and the heater's doing that, and the timer's doing that. But in these ones, it takes ages to reverse engineer them because every component's doing multiple functions. And by the time you work it out, you think, oh, that is actually genius. They saved so many components just by doing it that way.
Hey, speaking of genius, Clive, I just thought of a genius idea. Maybe you can make it. I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm.
Can you print out some of those LED circuit boards like the ones you have behind you that are blinking, but in the shape of sunglass lenses so I can wear them in my sunglasses?
You wouldn't be able to see them now.
You could do that.
Doesn't matter. I'm just sitting here.
No, you could get your plastic sunglasses. You could get a cheap disposable pair of plastic sunglasses. You could drill 5mm holes and you could put those LEDs into them, as many as you wanted, and wire them all in parallel.
See, I don't know how to wear stuff like that. That sounds awesome, though.
Clive, I want to ask you.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, for the people that don't know in chat, Clive designed those and made those, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And the circuit board files are available on bigclive.com. If you can download them as a zip file and send them to circuit board. If you're into electronics, you can download this circuit board file, the big one or the small one, gallium, and just buy some cheap flashing diffused LEDs from eBay in large quantities and populate them. Everything's available online. You can just
How much soldering was that, Clive? How much soldering was that?
Oh, the big one has almost 1,000 solder joints on it.
Oh man,
It takes a while.
yeah.
It took me 4 hours to make one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have that kind of time to try to fabricate my own flashing sunglasses.
Yeah.
So,
It's only-
Clive, I have a personal question for you.
Uh-oh.
Do you have
Just like
do you have a budget for all the products you order and destroy a month?
No, I just recklessly buy shit tons. Whatever takes my fancy, I buy it and then take it to bits. But because it's technically speaking, it's a business now, isn't it? Really, because it's YouTube, so it all goes through the tax return. So I get to buy all manner of crap from China, and it all goes through the books, and I get to take it to bits.
Nice.
Which is just like, it's like being paid to tinker.
Mm-hmm. I would love to just tinker around a little bit more. I actually got my microwave because our microwave quit working. So I finally got it in my garage. It took me forever because I've just been so busy, but I got it in the garage, pulled it apart, and I don't do microwaves a lot. I used to do them a lot. Nowadays, I've kind of lost a lot of the knowledge from them. So anyway, I'm thinking that it's just a capacitor based off the sound and the previous experience I've had. But I tested the capacitor. It's just a 0.91 MF capacitor, ultra fat capacitor. It tests fine, but I'm thinking like maybe when it's under load, it's not actually doing what it should.
These capacitors operate at very high voltage, so it could be the magnetron that's failed, but the capacitors, keep in mind that without actually testing it under if you connect a tester to it, it's not exactly putting 2,000 volts across it, so it doesn't give a good indication. Maybe the best thing to do there is just to actually swap the capacitor, but keep in mind at all times when you're working in microwaves that particularly traditional inductive transformer microwaves, that they are an absolute death trap. It's much worse than a mains electric shock. It's more like an overhead power line.
I measured almost 600 volts on the magnetron.
What?
Yeah. No, just can I check, was it powered at the time?
Oh yeah, I plugged it in and ran it while I was playing with it.
No, don't do that.
Oh my, that's bad for health.
Seriously.
Well, no, I wanted to measure the voltage coming out of the transformer. I didn't plug it in like the whole time. It wasn't plugged in.
That's why he's glowing.
I just wanted to measure the voltage coming out of the transformer. I didn't have the transformer plugged in.
I'm just surprised he's still alive, actually.
Oh wow.
The number of people that have died recently, because that thing, they call it wood fracking, where they connect a microwave transformer to bits of wet wood and spray salty water all over it, and then it arcs and makes it a lightning effect.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do that tomorrow.
Never heard of
it. It looks awesome, yeah. But none of the videos say, by the way, you're messing around with high voltage. So the number of fatal electrocutions is staggering.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna do that.
Accidents, yeah, it's really. Honestly, a microwave transformer is ruthless. The capacitor is there with a very simple voltage doubling via a diode. So it steps voltage up around about 2,000 volts or so, or higher open circuit. Just be very careful with those, because you're not going to get a second go if you get a shock off a microwave. The risk of it actually ending your life is really huge. Just
so on that note,
if I'm not here next week, you know what?
Couple guys in the shower.
Don't fuck with microwaves. I really mean it.
I thought it was cats. You don't fuck with cats. That's what it was.
Clive, on that note, does this give you any ideas for new videos?
Yeah, safety videos. I've already done the microwave safety video.
Oh,
PPE.
Where I act, it's a video where I showed a picture of someone who had died as a result of doing that. And I didn't really think it through. His family were very, very angry. I had to take that video down. Very awkward. Sleepless nights.
Where did you get the video from?
But it wasn't a video of him dying. It was just a picture of him posing with his art and just said, this is a picture of his setup that he'd put in his Facebook page. And here's a picture of the art. And I'm saying, well, the setup is basically a wet garage with a metal rail with the wood sitting across it. And it's like, I'm looking at it and thinking, I just can't believe that he actually did this. And yeah, let's not go there. It's horrible. No. People have literally been found lying on the floor on fire, holding the wire, because microwave transformers are like touching an overhead line. It can put out amps at really high voltage.
You're making me want to throw my microwave out in my kitchen right now.
Yeah, it's fine as long as it stays inside that metal box, but don't tinker about inside it with the power on. And even the power off, keep in mind that if it's not got a good working discharge resistor, that capacitor could deliver the same sort of shock as a
I always discharge that capacitor, I tell you what. But then once it's discharged, I plug the thing in and it says voltage come out of the transformer. But I didn't do it with my hands on there.
I'm surprised your meter survived, because it should be about 1,000 volts coming out of the transformer, doubled to 2,000 volts.
I don't know. It only, I don't know, it was like 553 or something.
It sounds like a faulty transformer then, because
that's your problem.
That should literally have ended the life of your meter.
Jesus! Oh my God!
That's how you test it. You're like, my fluke.
Well, I only tested 2 of the leads coming out of the transformer. There's 3 wires coming out of the transformer.
Oh, right, okay.
And I only tested 2 of them.
There's 3 wires coming out. One is actually reference to ground. One is the high voltage, and one is actually the filament, like something like, I don't know, is it 6 or 10 volts?
So I wonder if maybe I wasn't testing the high voltage line, maybe.
Yes, if you had your meter would have been the thing making loud fuzzing, buzzing noises, and smoke would have been coming out of it. Don't connect the meter to the output of one of those transformers.
I would have looked forward to that.
Was it a posh meter?
Field Bees.
Okay.
I don't remember the model number. It's just my garage meter.
Don't knock my field piece meter.
It held up there, but
was it a Harbor Freight meter?
No, it's not a Harbor Freight meter.
It was a hot dog with 2 wires coming out of it.
I have a Harbor Freight.
If you want to know anything about microwaves, there's a couple guys in chat, but Dave G, I think apparently works on them a lot, and he's the first guy that said, "Don't fuck with them because you're gonna be pinned to the wall." But he knows a lot about microwaves, it seems. So.
So if you don't know about microwaves, don't take them apart.
So trust me when I say, don't mess around inside your microwave. It's like, if you thought 240 volts in the UK was bad, then you're talking with overhead power line voltages. It really is just a shit ton of current that will give you a terrible experience.
All right, here's a question about a microwave. If your front glass is cracked, what will happen if you use your microwave?
It's not that much of a risk, because the wavelength inside your microwave is roughly 4 inches long. So you can see that metal mesh inside your microwave that you're looking through. That's the bit that screens it. Those holes, they could be bigger, but it's the
Faraday cage.
It's not a super duper risk. If you want to check that, you could hold a fluorescent tube or something in the vicinity of it in front of the crack. And if the fluorescent tube doesn't light, then it should be fine.
Hey, here's a quick question for you. Why does the Faraday cage, why does it actually hold back microwaves or block microwaves from escaping the box? Is it because microwaves themselves can't actually make 90-degree turns? Which, no joke, that's what I've heard. Microwaves
can't. They're fired into the microwave by what's called a waveguide. They're bounced inside a metal cage. At the point at the frequencies they're operating, 2.4 gigahertz, they don't act like you can't feed them along a wire. They actually have to be fired as sort of RF signals bounced into a metal cavity. But they can't go through the metal. So the Faraday cage in that instance is the metal case with the sort of punched mesh that you can actually look through to see if your food's on fire or not. But the actual microwaves themselves can't get out of that. They basically get shunted to ground on the way out as such, so they can't penetrate that.
I bought a microwave tester off Amazon, and I got this little plastic block, right? And I was really confused. I'm like, this is a microwave tester? It's just a little plastic block, and it's hollow in the center. And then you put it in the microwave, and it starts making all these fancy lights and everything. And it turns out it's just it's neon gas that's sealed inside this plastic block. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, you can put an ordinary neon indicator into the microwave and it'll light up. It won't last very long. You can actually put a full-size neon tube in, or a fluorescent tube, or even a tungsten lamp in, and you'll see plasma and glowing arcs before it pops.
Oh, nice. I've also heard that if you want to test your microwave for microwave leakage, you can put a cell phone inside the microwave and then try to call that cell phone.
I would recommend it.
And you won't actually be able to call the cell phone because it blocks the
Do you
signal.
remember those videos where people said, charge your iPhone really quick by put it in the microwave, and people actually did it?
No,
Massive troll.
don't turn it. You don't have to turn it on for this test. You just put it in
Yeah.
the microwave and then close the door. You don't turn it on.
Oh, right. Okay.
There's a
Yeah.
movie, again, change the subject completely, but there's a movie where the deleted scene, I think it's Last House on the Left or The Lake House or whatever, but there's a deleted scene in that one where the dad gets ultimate revenge and he somehow takes the door off the microwave, and the enemy in the movie, he puts his head in the microwave and then he turns it on and slowly cooks the guy's head. Would that
Did
be
he bypass the micro switch?
He
on the
must
door?
have bypassed the micro switch because he slowly cooked the guy's head and the guy was screaming as his head was smoking.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I've got mixed thoughts about that, although
Hollywood
there are
right there.
instances
But that was
where
a
people-
really cool ultimate scene at the end of a movie.
I was at
Yeah.
a party when I was in my early 20s, and there was a guy there that was trying to start a fight with everyone, and they told him to leave. So he came back in and he put a handful of cans, like beer cans, in the microwave and turned it on for like 5 minutes and walked away. And yeah,
Nothing happened.
no, there was like sparks. I don't know if it was aluminum
Well, there'd be
cans or
sparks, but
yeah.
it wouldn't heat them. If you put metal into the microwave, it actually, literally, if you could see the waves inside a microwave at 2.4 gigahertz, it's roughly 4 inches long, a sort of sine wave, and that's what induces voltage across food that causes current to flow through it, and that's what heats it. So if you put metal bits in, it induces that voltage in metal, and you get sparking between them. But it's not great for the microwave, but it's not like terminal.
So it wouldn't do anything crazy, like just explode or nothing.
No,
Nothing
not
too
that.
terrible.
It could wreck the microwave.
Yeah.
Yamo's asked, can Clive cook a steak using electricity? Well, the answer is that I can heat hot dogs but not cook raw food because it just burns electrodes clear.
Hey, speaking of
Interesting.
Yamo from Mexico.
Hey, what's up, Clive? Thank you for answering the question.
All right. Yeah, it's no good for raw food, but you can heat pies with it.
Pies.
But you put the hot dog, that was raw.
No, the hot dog's already
Good
cooked.
Oh, that's right.
Hey, speaking of hot dogs and food, what is like a totally off subject here, but what is like an Isle of Man traditional dish, like a shepherd's pie or something weird?
Oh, what do we have over here? It's very similar to Britain. It's just fish and chips, I suppose, is a traditional
Oh, that's
thing.
okay.
Which
Nothing
is
too
probably
crazy,
common
like
around the world. There's nothing particularly fancy.
a cockroach milk
making
or
me think.
something.
Is there anything specifically Manx? And there's not. I can't think of anything.
I have a friend that's an Irish carpenter. He grew up in Ireland. He came here, and I was like, I was talking to him about like authentic dishes, and I'm like, corned beef and cabbage. And he's like, corned beef and cabbage, huh? We don't eat that over there. We have boiled bacon. I'm like, boiled bacon.
Bacon.
Boiled bacon.
Bacon. Well, one of the classic Scottish dishes is haggis,
Haggis.
neeps, and tatties.
Is
The
that
neeps
sheep
are turnip.
intestine or something? What is haggis? What is haggis? Sheep intestine or something like that?
It's kind of it's in a sheep's intestine traditionally, but it's not anymore. It's like it's usually a synthetic thing, but it's basically just generic, mechanically reclaimed meat with spices and some suet, fat, and some grain like porridge, just to actually bond it all together. It's very nice. I like it. But traditionally, it would be haggis, neeps, and tatties. The neeps is a turnip, the tatties is potatoes. So it would be haggis, seasoned, spicy sort of meat with turnip and potato.
Hey, real quick, I gotta back to the microwave subject here. Gary Ruski, I don't know how to ski. Anyway, he asked a question. How come some microwaves have a metal rack you can put in them? I want to guess it's because the metal rack is round and the microwaves won't actually deflect off of it.
The metal rack, all the metal is bonded together, but the plastic, it will have either plastic feet or it'll have some sort of spacer if it's on a sort of metal dish, or
Yeah.
it'll be on
Hangs on the
or it'll be
plastic,
a glass tray.
doesn't it? My microwave had plastic hooks in it, and the metal rack would hang on those.
Oh, so it's like not grounded. That's why it doesn't react to the microwaves.
It's usually separate pieces of metal that aren't bound
Oh.
together that cause the problems.
Interesting. I thought it would be because also maybe it's neutral. It's neutrally charged. Like your microwave safe dishes are neutrally charged. They're not positive or negative. That's why there's no reaction in your Tupperware containers. Really, they get hot because the substance inside of them gets hot, but the dish itself, if you put it in there all by itself, won't get hot because it's
not conductive. Microwaves work by the conduction. That's why some foods don't get hot at all, and other foods it's the moisture content that actually makes them conductive.
Because the water in the food actually heats the food.
Yes,
the moisture in the food.
Still on microwaves, do we recommend heating takeout dishes in styrofoam and eating the food out of them?
Oh yeah, that's all good.
Yeah, it's fine. It's only the hippies that say all the toxic stuff comes out. But having said that, have you ever had like those polystyrene cups and all you can taste is polystyrene as you're drinking from them? They're horrible.
Polystyrene.
Although
styrofoam. That's a polystyrene. Yeah, great. I have to do a translation to American here.
Yeah, I knew what you're talking about though.
Paper, styrofoam, yes.
Same
Absolutely.
as we'd say polythene bags. We have to say polyethylene bags.
Or you say aluminium.
Aluminum.
Mm-hmm.
I like the way you say it better. So I just go to the supply houses. I'm like, I'm on ADP coil, but can I have the aluminium style, please?
And you're like, what the F did you just say?
I think it sounds cooler, guys. Come on.
I do. I agree too. Aluminium.
The opposite thing, it's quite funny to say aluminum here because it's so American. It's just cultural.
Excuse me, Walmart worker. Where can I take my aluminium cans?
Wrap your loaf in aluminum tinfoil. It sounds so funny, and in British, it actually is really funny when I say that.
I've never actually told anybody to wrap their loaf in anything, really.
And then microwave it.
Yeah, that's a good one. And then microwave it. Aluminium.
Now, do you know how you can buy pre-made breadcrumbs for coating things in?
Mm-hmm.
Like, say, for instance, you've got a fish fillet or something like that. A lot of that.
Wait.
Fillet.
We call it fillet, just so you know.
Oh.
Speak American.
That sounds more like French. Oh, here's another thing before I go on about the bread bit. Remind me about the bread bit because it's quite good. We say voila. And I noticed the French spell it, the Americans spell it W-A-L-L-A, voila. How do you pronounce it?
Voila.
Do you pronounce
Good question.
Voila.
I do put a little bit of a V in there.
Because the French, V-O-I-L-A, voila. That means, and here it is.
We butcher it and say voila with a W. Voila.
Yeah.
See, that is Joe actually know about this because he is Canadian, and ultimately he should know more about the French side of things as well as the sort of mishmash of British and French stuff.
Do you say cool whip or cool whip?
We say whip.
Whipped.
Not
Cool
whip.
Whip it good.
My wife and I get in the biggest fight in the world. What about how do you say apricot?
Apricot.
See, I say
Apricot.
Apricot.
Yeah,
My wife says apricot, and no, it's apricot.
You say tomato or tomato?
Tomato. Actually, we say tomato over here.
This is definitely all HVAC related, by the way.
This is
no doubt.
Now, can I get back to the breadcrumbs?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So you get these breadcrumbs, but it makes sense that the bread is cooked without too much of a crust. So in some instances, the dough goes in on a conveyor belt between two stainless steel plates, and just as mains current, high voltage pass through it, AC, and it's cooked without. It's cooked by the electricity passing through it, and that results in these big blocks of bread that have no crust on them because the whole mass of bread is just basically baked with electricity, but they're not baked in ovens as such.
How do you know this kind of knowledge?
I fuck knows. I just found it on the internet and then followed. I followed that trail, and then you find the trail, and you finally find the factory that makes it, and these are the machines that electrocute the bread, and it's like, oh right, and you see the big guy with the rubber gloves taking the loaves out the end.
Wow, that's crazy.
See,
No, I make my own breadcrumbs, and you know how that is. You just dry up the bread, and that's it. And smash them.
Seems a
why
little
don't you
bit.
just buy them, Joe? It seems.
I just buy crispy nuggets.
Yeah, you can do that too, but you want to use it for veal or fish, like you say. But you don't know what's in that breadcrumbs, honestly. Like what's in
Flour.
there? Yeah, you don't know that. You don't know what. You don't know what's in there and what they put.
Yeah, it's poison flour.
It could be.
It's the
Stale.
flour. It's the breadcrumbs that are called Japanese bukkake crumbs, which I'm a bit
Jesus.
suspicious about.
Bukkake. That's something.
Yeah, you say bukkake, we say bukkake.
Yeah.
That's my favorite kind of car.
So
Yeah.
so
Messi drive gets in the beard quite a lot.
as I was told in the chat,
That's why I wear sunglasses.
my research now, I'm completely wrong about the crankcase heater thing. So
For the 3-phase.
100% wrong on the 3-phase. No.
Yeah.
I'm looking at a schematic right now, and there's no way in hell this is acting as a crankcase heater.
Are you are you mad that I brought this up?
No.
I've got to see this.
It's great.
By it though.
But
I can't stop. I can't stop. I'm like, I know I've heard this and I've read it, and I can see where it would work on single phase if it's wired correctly. But on 3-phase, there's nothing there to create current in that compressor. There's
Chris,
nothing coming back.
I'm going to share that video with you just so you can watch it and give me your opinion of it.
Okay. My opinion's usually wrong though. I just got the text from you.
All right. I
Yeah.
respect your opinion either way.
Yeah, but I'm completely wrong because there's no way unless there's some voodoo magic.
I hope
going
I
on.
didn't start like a downward spiral with Chris, where it's like Chris started drinking heavily. He was
Yeah.
wrong, and then it's
He
like
dabbled in meth to try to deal with the pain.
Oh my god.
No.
Why Bill stopped drinking?
Yeah.
Now, Chris, remember the rubber band goes like right about here when you tie off. The needle goes right there.
And I'm supposed to cut this way and not this way,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yes.
Because
And
this
then-
way is useless and this way produces.
Yes. No. This way is for attention. This way is for results.
Right. There you go. Yeah. Don't do that, guys.
Don't ever do that. That was from Family Guy.
I got told that by my brother, who's an undertaker. Yeah, so he's got to see all those results. Yeah. And one of the people that he dealt with was someone who had tried cutting themselves in the past, and then one of their friends said, "Oh, that's not the way you do it. It's this way." And then they did it.
Oh,
And that
wow.
was like,
Oh, it's
that's
so
awkward.
stupid. By the way, if anybody takes any of the advice that we say that's not
No.
HVAC related, seriously.
And I would say only take 50% of
Yeah.
our information.
Oh, don't even take my HVAC related advice.
That's true. That's true.
Don't even do
Hey,
that.
real
We have
quick,
to-
going back to fancy words and stuff. Jessica Egan wants to hear Clive say Worcestershire.
Worcester.
I
Worcestershire.
don't know. Worcestershire. How do you say that?
Worcestershire. Although it says Worcester, it's Worcester sauce.
Yeah, I say Worcester sauce.
And
Worcester sauce.
if you know what's
What?
actually in that crap, if you watch the videos of how it's made, I don't really like it nearly as much as I used to.
Joe,
Watch the videos of how they make mayonnaise. You're gonna like
Just
freak out with how many
eat the
eggs. are in
stuff. Don't worry about the
Oh,
ingredients.
Yeah.
Mayonnaise.
Hey, yo, Miracle Whip.
My,
Let's.
mine is cool.
I think it's time we wrap this up. But let's end
Wait,
this
wait.
with a debate. Let's end.
Should we
this with
give
a debate.
something away real quick?
Yeah, we
Chris?
can.
What do you want to give
Okay.
away?
You should.
And then,
And
I
then-
do HVAC.
Did anybody even mention that today is the 50th anniversary of our
No.
show?
We did.
That's why I've been drinking champagne. It's actually not
See?
champagne.
And what a great way to celebrate it with just bashing Chris until he realizes
Mhm.
there's nothing
Guys, we gotta bring it. You know,
on my YouTube.
What should we give
Bring it
away?
down.
Why don't the people in the chat say what would you like? What should we give away? A tool bag? What should we give away?
I want a bite of whatever Yamo's eating.
There you go. There's a fireworks. There's
That's
a
pretty
fireworks.
cool.
Any ideas, you guys? Chris, Joe, what should we give
what do you
away?
want?
Ideas.
We'll get to
I
the
have a
chat.
brand. I have a brand new jack of.
I tell you what,
R32.
I want to put your cell phone number in the chat, Adam, and we'll let everybody chat you and tell you what.
Yeah.
We'll let everybody text him all day long.
Yeah.
with their crazy ideas and thoughts.
Who was the I can't remember. Anyways.
Tool bag, Yeti. They want a
Tool
Yeti.
bag, Yeti. Somebody wants a crankcase. Joe Shearer wants a crankcase heater.
Give away a date with the ammo.
Flamethrower, a T-shirt. Give away a date.
Here, you can go on eBay. You can just buy all these industrial components cheaply from China. I'm not sure how good they are. Obviously, I wouldn't
Fucker.
trust them.
Tools. What kind of
almost.
tool?
You cannot buy R22.
At least we got fireworks.
All right, Joe, pick something.
Yeah.
We've heard tool bags. We've heard tools, tool bags. We've heard T-shirts, Yetis.
I like a date with Yamo. That's in Mexico. But that's a little too expensive.
That's a little too expensive, yeah.
Yeah.
Jug of R12.
I have inappropriate merchandise, but unfortunately, you have to get it made yourself. All the embroidery files are on my website.
Yeah, see, I want a BCDC hat, but I want one directly from the Isle of Man for some reason.
Oh, not practical these days.
Yeah, but Clive, I was actually thinking about sending something to you because I just sent something to the UK and it cost me $7.
It's ridiculous sending stuff to America from the UK. As soon as it's over 100 grams or it's thicker than 1 inch, the price just rockets through the roof.
I have to say, oh, sorry, go ahead, Clive.
Bill Sunnies.
You guys in America might not realize this, but America's postal system has introduced a surcharge on all incoming mail. And it was to deal with the fact that all the stuff was being shipped from China postage free, because when the postage was shipped in from China, the USPS had to deliver it free as part of what they call the postal union. So they decided, well, screw this, we're going to add a surcharge. So that's why the price on, if you notice, the price on eBay from China has gone up by maybe $1 or $2. But in reality, in the UK, the same has been applied to us, but it's actually, they doubled it for some reason. They took commission for adding that on. So the price has gone even higher. We've got a dedicated, it used to be UK, European, or worldwide. Now it's UK, European, worldwide, or the really expensive option is America.
Damn.
It's weird.
I sent a box to Mexico, a 7-pound box, like 2 weeks ago to Mexico through FedEx, and it was $150.
Yeah, they probably price gouged you a bit, but that is quite a heavy weight. What did you send?
Oh, just some clothes and toys and whatnot for some friends and family out there.
Ah.
Yeah, expensive. I was like, I'll just send you $25. You go to the store and buy it.
That's probably would have worked better, but you could probably have found here in the UK, if someone ships something to Isle of Man by Royal Mail, it costs a fortune. If they use a company called Hermes, it's like a fraction of that, and it's tracked all the way. And then it arrives, and your phone goes ding, and it says, the parcel's just been delivered. Here's what it is, and here's a picture of it, and here's the GPS location. It's like, wow.
I've seen a couple people want me to give away some sunglasses.
LED sunglasses.
All right, Joe.
I want to buy. I'm going to look on eBay right now. I want to buy some LED sunglasses.
Well, you can buy LED sunglasses.
LED
sunglasses. Scroll messages across the glasses.
Oh man, Clive, that is awesome. Why didn't I think of that? I'm sure somebody has those.
Because nobody with credibility would wear them. That's why.
Did you ever see Did you ever see the glasses that you could actually like read text messages on the screen and that it shines it in your
the ones that have LEDs that scroll across them.
But it shines it in your pupil. All right, we need to give something away and get out.
I have an idea, but you guys got to think of an idea how to give it away. But let's give away something that these guys should be using. Manometers. Crankcase heater. That's on steady. Just keep it on. It doesn't hurt. Field piece probes. How about manometers? Probes. Whatever.
Oh, the field piece job link manometer probes?
Yes, thank you.
Is that something that people like? I mean,
they're gonna have to be forced to use them. Well, people are.
All right, here, real quick, let's get a quick vote. That or how much is a Hvac Professional Plus? Is that in our budget?
Hvac. Oh, professional. Let's make it the what's
mini,
the one in
the micro,
the micro Bluetooth. Something that something that we should be using in the field. Something like that. It's up to these guys.
Can't talk right now. Looking at sunglasses.
All right, go ahead, Joe. Pick.
Professional Plus is
how much is it?
Quite up there.
Yeah. The Pro.
How much?
Oh yeah.
350.
350.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Or the manometers. How much are the manometers?
Are we talking about our budget on air?
Yeah, that just looks like. I think baseball caps is probably the best option here.
I know,
here's the
right?
thing. Here's the thing I didn't know. I recently featured a baseball cap on my channel with an illuminated skip. It turns out that only the Scottish call them skips. It's everybody else says bills or peaks or what do you call the thing in the front of your baseball cap?
Oh, the bill.
B cap, bill, yeah.
The bill. See, we don't call it that. We call it skips here.
Oh, what? Skip?
Skips. That's weird.
So if I'd known that, I'd have actually said bill in the video, but I said skip and everybody assumed I'd taken it out of a skip.
No.
Maybe I kind of want to buy some Geordie LaForge glasses now.
They are very stylish
Geordie
and
LaForge.
they connect to your brain neurally.
Star check.
Deal.
Right.
All right. So we made the decision in the backstage.
All right.
Mhm.
And how should we do this? Take a phone call and we ask them how a triac works, and
No.
then they win the prize.
No.
Yeah.
Random comment picker.
I don't
Yeah,
I don't know how to do that either, Chris. I'm in your same boat.
I just do it random. I just go through and pick someone random. But if you want to do a call, that's fine too.
Ooh.
Okay. So do we know our phone number? I don't have it ready to be put on.
I'm
cam.
sure that there's a couple people that have it in speed dial that are already calling.
But then that's biased.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, hold on.
That's right.
Don't call because I need to figure out what my phone number is. 224-366-7725.
Is that your personal number?
No, I wouldn't have to look that up.
We should make it the fourth caller.
Did you see? Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Let's
Fourth
make
caller.
it the 37th caller.
No, fourth caller. Fourth caller. Okay, so call in right now. And did we tell them what we're giving away? I don't think you did.
Go ahead, Chris.
We're gonna give away the Blueback Pro Bluetooth wireless micron gauge.
I don't understand why that noise is back. I got rid of it. What's happening?
Fourth
Are we
call.
doing the fourth caller?
Yes.
You're caller number one.
You're a loser.
Sorry.
Oh, are we still live?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh.
Goodbye. All right, we're ready for part two. That was number one. We need to caller
Gotta
number
answer
two.
with you're a loser.
Found a new flavor of beard butter on Amazon. You guys know about this Amazon, man? This thing is awesome.
All right.
It is.
Do they still have the
You
number?
should check it out.
Can I just say, with regards to
Here we
beard
go.
butters,
Oh,
APR, that's fine.
here's a call from the UK. This sounds expensive.
Well, that is expensive.
Hello? Hello, caller.
Hello.
Nobody talks like that in real life.
Who is this?
It's Connor. I just wanted to call and say pineapple
that's
on pizza is
Connor.
bad.
Whoa,
Pineapple.
dude, your voice is a trip.
Yeah, Connor's
Yeah.
is a tip. And Connor's a lot younger than you think he is too.
Yeah.
How you doing, Connor?
Pretty good, you.
All right, good man. All right, so you're number 3 now.
That
So
Hey,
was
wait,
two.
before you go, can you say good day, Governor?
I need to call just to say on screen that pineapple on pizza is bad, just because he's recording it.
all right. I didn't-
Can you say,
Okay.
can you wait one more thing? God save the queen.
Rock on.
Yeah, you can't hear
All right.
anything.
It was
All
very
right.
quiet.
Yeah,
All right,
it's
goodbye. Have a good time.
Proper
Thank
gibberish.
you. Carry on.
Yeah. What are they using in UK?
Dude, he's calling. It's like internet phone. How
Yeah,
it's
landline
coming
or something.
underneath the ocean. Yeah. Whoa.
Whoa.
Well, we got 100 calls here. I don't even know what to do. Hold on,
You're at number 4.
You did just basically open up
Oh, you were
competition.
all right. Gotta go. You were at number 3.
No. Can I just say to Peter S,
Hello.
pineapple
Hello.
on pizza is not acceptable.
You're number 4.
Me too, Clive. I'm glad we're on the same page, Clive.
We're gonna address that in a minute, Clive. Don't go anywhere. Who's the caller?
No.
Brass
Chris,
monster.
It's not.
You don't use micron gauges. I gotta get off the phone. You don't
What
know
do
what
you
a,
mean?
you don't even know what a micron gauge is.
Why wouldn't I know what a micron gauge is?
Because you're like an electrical engineer like Clive that likes to blow
That
things up.
doesn't mean anything.
All right.
Doesn't mean I don't have to calibrate spark gaps.
Start caps?
Oh,
Start caps?
You don't know what a spark gap is?
Spark?
Let's call it anyways.
I don't know.
I believe that might be
Hmm.
Glass Monster by the sound of it.
That is,
Yeah,
that's what he said.
Yeah,
Glass
it is.
monster.
Strong hints
And
of
I
glass
also work on
monster
diesel
going here.
engines.
Particularly spark gaps.
Yeah.
I also work on diesel engines.
So you would actually use a micron gauge, a very high end, best of the best micron gauge.
I believe him.
Definitely.
I believe him. Hey, say good day, Governor. Oh wait, no,
A
that's
lot better than what I got.
Technically speaking, micron gauges could be used in vacuum tubes. Technically
don't know.
speaking.
Yeah, you need to measure pin diameter
pin diameter.
That's a
or the
micrometer.
thickness of the wire that you're using to build the grids for the vacuum
Nope.
tubes
Oh.
internally.
Oh yeah,
That's
it's a
wrong.
micrometer.
That is a micrometer. That's not a
Yeah.
micron gauge.
That's different. This is for measuring.
But I know what a
moisture.
micron gauge is too for measuring high vacuum, as in
Yep.
for
Yes.
using on my mercury diffusion pump.
All right,
Do you
listen. If you would,
Do you have
if
a
you would,
Dyson or a Eureka to measure it with?
Dyson.
if you would generally,
You know what a mercury diffusion pump is?
No, I have. It sounds like a
No, I
peanut
do.
butter,
It's
but I
it's
don't
used it's used to increase vacuum from a pump by actually
That's right.
creating molecular
And I've
drag.
also got a
mercury
turbo
vapor,
molecular
then
pump that I could
recondense it.
use that with.
Thanks, Clive.
I
What were
also
you
have
saying
a
now?
turbo molecular pump.
I was gonna say we can give him a different prize if he's not going to use the micron gauge for pulling a vacuum for HVAC. We can give him something else.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then give
we'll
the
send-
micron
we'll
gauge
send
to a
other
different
stuff.
caller.
Yeah,
Well, the first time that you try, we're going to send something that never got the T-shirt. So
What size
Oh,
are
you
you?
didn't send him a T-shirt
Extra
for
large,
doing
Mark.
it fake, guys.
Extra
that's been a
large.
long time ago.
Did you ever send your address?
You sent
Yeah,
your
a long
address
time
there?
ago.
Can you send it again,
Months
please?
ago.
Can you send it again
yeah. Send your
But
address
yes, I
again.
can actually use micron gauges.
for real?
There's
For
many,
real?
Many uses. Many
Can I just
uses.
check?
One of them is measuring vacuum to find out what the state of my vacuum is when I'm evacuating tubes.
I use mine on my shop vac all the time.
Hmm.
I measure the vacuum.
I actually do know what they are.
All right, cool.
Dave?
Okay. The
How far
reason-
down do they go? 10 to negative 5, 10 to negative 6.
It's microns.
All right,
Go-
let's move
Yeah.
on.
All right.
Congrats, bud.
Send.
Just run the microphone.
Yeah, we'll send you a prize.
Okay?
What? Can you?
I don't wear hats. I will warn you that.
All right. HVACOvertime@gmail.com.
Let's send him a top hat.
Okay. Bro, Glass Monster.
Send Big Clive if you want. Send Big Clive if you want.
Send Big
let's
Cloud.
go ahead and move
Yeah,
on.
that's,
Next caller,
that's not
please.
weird at all.
On that note, send your email.
Everybody
Thank
wants
you.
Big Clive. He's expensive.
All right.
Can I
Caller
just
number.
check?
Wait, hold on. I need
Glass
to.
Monster, did I send you? I think I did send you one of the gallium circuit boards, didn't I? I think I did.
Well, I already hung up on him, so. On that note, caller number 4.5. Sorry.
All right, come on.
Congrats, Glass Monster.
We're gonna send you something, but yeah,
You didn't send him a T-shirt.
I
Guys,
didn't have it on my list. I don't have it in the email. I don't know if he sent me an email or not. Maybe he did. I don't think he did. I'm gonna send him something extra. Extra.
How much would it cost for us to send Clive?
Lots, particularly during a
All
pandemic.
right, great. You know what? Now this is the guy that has everything. We've stocked his whole freaking truck.
Oh, Scott.
I just called to say hi.
Scott deserves it. Scott deserves
So
That's why he is, because he knows the contest is over, but he's still calling. He's
Yeah,
I'm
not
gonna
sad.
send Scott a kick right in this.
Yeah, because you know what? I wanted to thank Adam for the hat, even though he didn't send a mask. But I won't bust his balls
I
anymore.
didn't send you a mask.
He sent me
Dude,
a hat, but that
I
was cool,
sent you
bro.
a mask. I've sent. All right.
Hey,
You're-
and Scott,
No, you
my
didn't.
hats come in on Wednesday, bro. So message me on Wednesday.
Oh,
Okay.
I didn't
All
send
right,
you
you got
another mask. I didn't send you another
He'll send you the
mask.
bill too, Scott.
So does he get
You
the?
never sent a mask the first time, man. It's cool. You forgot
Oh,
about
my
me.
He's got my
God.
electric bill.
All right. I sent you the mask. I showed you the freaking thing. You live on a mountain.
Yeah.
Of course, I live on a mountain.
All right.
Of course,
What
I
are we
do.
doing
Like,
here?
Like everybody should or something.
Does he
Of
get the
course I live
prize?
on a
Scott
mountain.
gets
Where
the
else would I
prize.
live?
Yeah. Scott,
I don't need a prize, man.
what kind of micron
I
gauge
just
you
called to say
have?
hi.
What kind of micron gauge you have?
I don't have a micro. I only use my fill piece.
Good to go.
my manifold for that.
So all your vacuums are
half-assed.
real.
All right. I think he should be the. I don't know how to turn this off anymore. We're getting calls from all over the world. I got to turn this off.
Turn your freaking thing off. That's the winner. We'll get a hold of you, bud.
We're gonna give away a date with Clyde.
Email
How
us.
about
Email
that?
us.
No, don't do that because just my ass would probably never close afterwards.
I gotta disconnect my phone. All right, Scott.
That was just enough information.
Yeah.
All right.
On that note,
I
think we've had I think we had enough overtime for this week, huh?
Clyde's getting into the wine now.
Yeah.
I like that. That was a good one. That was a good segue out of here.
All right.
Well,
Close
kill
up,
it.
though. Close up,
Let's
buddy.
roll.
where are we rolling?
We could just sit here awkwardly.
Just for reference here, just so you know how much it would cost to post me, so you can actually get a quote. I weigh 18 British stone, right? Which to convert that to to American pounds, you'd have to multiply it by 14. So 18 by 14, and then you can work out how much that would cost to post by the USPS. Quite.
On that note, the USPS is not getting funded by the government because we don't want mail-in voting to happen. So.
We forgot. Yeah, and we forgot about this whole pineapple on pizza. We can't let this go. Pineapple, jalapeno, tomatoes, onion.
Why would you put fruit? You might as well put cherries and plums on pizza.
Yeah, I agree.
No, why would you
Favorite
put
dish.
cherries on
Exactly.
pizza?
It's
Pineapple
cheese.
is amazing.
It's not a fruit
Hold
basket.
on.
It's a pizza.
Hold on, wait till I get a garden rake and scrape all
No,
the cheese off the top of the pizza so we can put fruit on it.
You
Good
cover
point,
your
Clive.
pizza in fruit paste.
Oh,
Ew.
Tomato's a
Tomato.
vegetable.
no,
Tomato-
tomato. It was sold as the heart fruit, but in reality, it was deceptive marketing because it doesn't taste fruity at all.
See, my tomatoes grow underground. They're vegetables.
Yeah,
My tomatoes are sweet.
and also tomato ketchup. Now, what we call it tomato ketchup. You call it.
Cat
Ketchup.
soup.
Ketchup.
We just call it ketchup.
I call it
All
cat
right, you
soup.
call it ketchup.
Yeah.
Ketchup. All right.
Do you have like a different kind of ketchup over there?
It's got quite a lot of sugar in it to make it taste fruity.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Everything.
I'd rather
Everything.
put anchovies. Anchovies or sardines on pizza than.
I've never had those on pizza.
Actually,
I can deal with those.
They're very salty.
Yeah. I
I've
don't
had
mind
them
Makes
in
it better.
when you go to like nicer restaurants, they actually put them on like Caesar salads. And then in some of the Caesar dressings, there's anchovy paste in there, like mixed up in there. That's what gives Caesar dressing
I think a lot of people forget how many poor little anchovies died just for your salty pleasurement.
Oh, there's abundance of them.
Yeah. There's more than we need.
Why not just eat whale? Because whales are much bigger.
Whale.
I like dolphin
Yeah,
on my
they're
pizza if
getting-
we're really getting
Dolphins
serious.
are yummy. Dolphin pizza.
Dolphin pizza?
Particularly dolphin nuggets.
Dolphin pizza.
dolphin nuggets. That's nasty. Where's the nugget on a dolphin?
Like
Breadcrumb.
young baby
Right,
horse
right.
pizza.
I would love to try that.
What about
Maybe horse pizza.
caviar? Think of all the babies
Never
that
had
died to
that
make
stuff.
To be
caviar.
honest, dolphins, it's very misleading. They call it a blowhole, but if you stick your penis in, it's just not satisfying at all.
I would try it. I would try it. I would try it.
On that, on that note,
All right, boys and gals, we're out of here.
Oh, that was the way to end it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wrap it up.
You say you're out of here, but you're going to keep the audio on the background anyway, aren't you? So we make a mockery of ourselves.
Oh, that's Adam. He typically does that, but he hasn't even
Maybe.
ended the show yet. It's still live right now.
all right. I should have ended it with the high note.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should have.
Come on,
That's what
you
we
can't
said,
talk.
but
Before dolphin abuse.
like
Yeah.
I don't know if we can make it any more obvious. Like, let's roll, and we're done, and we're ending.
Yeah,
And it's over
we're
now.
done.
Hey,
Exactly, Bill. Like,
75 minutes later, we're
Peter S.
we're
says,
we're the
what
guys
would
on the show begging him to end the show.
a pizza
Kill us.
Simon
Kill us.
Simon didn't say.
pineapple.
that's right.
in that.
Blowholes suck.
We can't. We.
Wow!